Yo, hello again. Yes, it's Peter Elgar here, the funny old film photography bloke from Brentwood, Essex in darkest England. Well, actually it's quite sunny today, not too dark. Today I'm going to show you one of my latest acquisitions, which is this one. It's one of the series of the famous Voigtlander VITO cameras. These two are from the 1950s and this is from the 1960s. They were all given to me. So I've done some tests and it all works beautifully. So we'll show you the Veto CLR that was given and we'll compare it with the earlier ones that I've got. Now this is it, the Veto CLR. It's got it on the top here. Veto CLR. It stands for Rangefinder because this one has a coupled rangefinder, a really posh one, and also I found it's what is known as the deluxe model. It's got a little bit of leather there, and it's got a little bit of leather surrounding here, and it's got a posh black release, which is the deluxe model. So I'm very lucky with that. Extra bit of leather for my money. The widow lady gave it to me, who gave me my Olympus spot program and a load of Olympus stuff. It's got a Voigtlander Lanthar lens as opposed to the colour Scopar lens of the other ones. 2.8 aperture. Now it's probably still a Tessar construction. 4 elements. Similar to a Tessar construction, but I'm going to do some more research because I've not had any other one with a Lanthar lens. But this is the rangefinder spot, which is in the viewfinder here. You can see the little rangefinder spot there, and when you look through the viewfinder here, you've got to line up your images in the rangefinder spot to get them coincident. And there's a little bright line frame which comes up, which shows you the field of view for your 50mm lens. So you focus it by turning this ring here. It's got distances on it if you want to guess. But when your rangefinder is accurately aligned, the two images go together like that. When they're out of focus, two images of the subject in the centre are apart. When they're together, it's in focus and it's accurate. This one has also got a built-in selenium cell light meter. That's very posh. Very lucky to get that. And it works. Now what you do, you line up by turning an aperture or a shutter speed here. You line up so your red line is over the little white line, and then it will give you the right exposure. There you are. I've lined it up now like that. So that tells me for the ASA that I've set 400, I think, a 15th at f22 would give you the right exposure according to what it's pointing at. Well, it's pointing at something white in the bathroom here where I use my videos, because it's white reflects and it shows the detail on the camera. So there's a lot of white around, so that actually wouldn't give you the correct exposure because you don't measure off white. You measure off the grey, don't you? Grey tone. Turn it down to the ground like that. It's got a Prontor LK shutter. Now, unlike the models earlier ones, it only runs from a 15th of a second to a 500th with B for brief time here. It hasn't got the slower speeds from 1 second on, 15th to a 500th. It's flash synchronized at all shutter speeds with your 3mm coaxial socket here, and it works with flash. I have used it with flash, comes out perfectly. Now you've got to tell the camera what the film speed is that you've got in, and how you do that, you find either the ASA setting here, or if you're German, you go to the Deutsche Industrie Normal, the DIN settings here. So I usually use the ASA setting, and I turn this until you find the little red dot is opposite the number you want, and that is on 400 ASA, because I was using it with some outdated Fuji Press 800, and I found it's being out of date. It's 400 now, and it came perfectly exposed. As you move the aperture and shutter speed together like that, they are linked together. But if you want to disengage them, you press down here, and you can move it independently like that. So if you want to change it independently, you can, or you can have them linked together like that, and then there's the aperture, can move it independently like that. And then, unlike the Veto B, you can wind it on and fire the shutter without film. So we've got it on a 60th of a second at f8 here. You wind it round. This is the shutter release here, and there's no hole to fit a cable release. No, I can't see a cable release socket, so you have to be careful, but it fires. And also you can use the delayed action here. Here's the delayed action lever. Put it across, having set the shutter, press it, and all the little German cogs all whir around doing their business. And 10 seconds later, your snap is taken. Now, we'll look at the Veto B and we'll see the difference. Here's the Veto B and the BR. The BR has a 2.8 colour scope, and the Veto B has a 3.5 colour scope lens. Now, they do say if you've got a Tessar type construction and you open it up to 2.8, it's not so sharp, but I found they are quite sharp. Now, the problem with the Veto B is you have to undo the back here by lifting this little thing and twisting it, oops, and it all pops open like that, as if by magic. And you've got to put your film in there. With the CR later model, you press this, and the back opens like that, and then to get your cassette in here, you've got to push that little lever, and this pops up, and then you pull it right out, you put your cassette in there, you find the slot here, there's the slot, you push your leader into there, make certain it's on the little peg, and then you wind it round once, close the back, and pop that down, and then you can take pictures. This one, you can't take a frame, but it will wind round, but with these ones, you can't take a picture unless there's a film loaded. That is a problem with the Veto B and the Veto BR. Now also, to make that pop up, you press this little lever. They're all slightly different, you see? Slightly different. That's an earlier model, 1950s model. But I think the CLR rather is easier to load than the Veto B and the Veto BR. I've done some quite good pictures with it. As I say, the Lenthal lens is sharp, and the selenium cell meter, although it's very old, from 1960s, I was told it's possibly 1960s to 1966, or on another site I found the CLR was 1963 to 68, and there's several versions of it. On another version I found, the word Veto CLR is over here. I've seen one on that, on Flickr. My one is on there. and sometimes they have a different lens than the length are. Now, how do you know how many frames you're taking? Well, you've got to remember to set this frame counter here, and it is a subtracting one. So if you've got a 36 frame in, you put the 36 number here, 35, 36, and as you picture that moves, it subtracts the number. It doesn't advance it. I think I prefer the other way around, actually. We'll see. We'll wind it on. We'll take a shot. We'll wind it on again. Now, where's it gone to? Yes, it's gone 2 frames down now. Look, it's on 34 now. So it's subtracting. You must remember to set that. Otherwise, you don't know whereabouts you are on your film. But it all works, and the focusing is accurate. The flash works, it's synchronised, I say, at any shutter speed you can use, and the rangefinder is accurate. So all in all, I'm a very happy bunny to be given that lovely Voigtlander VITO CLR from the 1960s. I'm going to go away and play with it again with some more of my out-of-date film. So see you later, folks, and keep watching my channels. Although I don't put so many on as I used to because of my health, but I'm feeling a bit better now anyway. See you again, hopefully, with another video in my own inimitable style. Thanks for watching.